The spaceship Horizon moved slowly through the darkness of space. Commander Elena Reyes stood on the bridge, looking at the stars. She and her crew were the first humans to travel this far from Earth. "Commander, we're picking up something strange," said Officer Chen, looking up from his screen. "It's at energy reading. Very big. Not natural." Elena walked to his station. "Show me." The screen showed a large object drifting in space. It was not moving in a normal way. "It's a ship," she said quietly. "And it's damaged." The Horizon changed course to investigate. As they got closer, they could see how massive the alien vessel was, at least 10 times bigger than their own ship. Its dark metal hull had strange markings and showed signs of battle. "Try to contact them," Elena ordered. Communications Officer Patel sent messages in various formats, but no one answered. "I'm detecting life signs," said Dr. Morris, the ship's scientist. "Thousands of them, but they're very weak." Elena made her decision. "Prepare a boarding team. We need to see if they need help." The team, led by Elena herself, entered the alien ship through a damaged docking port. They wore their space suits with helmets. The air inside was thin but breathable. Emergency lights flickered weakly along the corridors. "This way," Dr. Morris said, following readings on her device. "The life signs are stronger here." They entered a vast chamber filled with thousands of transparent pods. Inside each pod was a being unlike anything humans had ever seen. They had slender bodies that glowed with a soft blue light. Their skin seemed to shift colors slightly, even as they lay completely still. "They're in some kind of stasis," Dr. Morris said, examining the nearest pod. "The system is failing. They'll die if we don't help." A soft voice suddenly spoke in their helmets. "Visitors detected. Translator activated." They turned to see a hologram floating nearby, a projection of one of the beings in the pods. "I am the ship's emergency system," it said. "Our people are the Vashani. We are refugees." "What happened to you?" Elena asked. "We fled the Galactic Concord, a group of advanced civilizations. For centuries, they used our natural abilities to help build their empire. When we asked for freedom, they called us dangerous. They began hunting us down." The hologram showed images of beautiful cities, strange alien beings, and finally, terrible scenes of destruction. "We have traveled for years, seeking sanctuary. Every world has rejected us, fearing the Concord's anger. This ship contains the last large group of our kind. Our systems are failing. The Concord hunters are not far behind." Elena looked at the thousands of helpless beings in their pods. She thought of her orders: observe but don't interfere. First contact protocols were clear. This wasn't humanity's fight. But something else was clear too. These beings would die without help. "We'll take you to Earth," she said firmly. Her team looked shocked. "Commander," Officer Rodriguez whispered, "we don't have authority to." "I'm making the call," Elena said. "We can't turn our backs on them. Not when everyone else has." The hologram seemed to brighten. "You would risk the Concord's anger. For strangers." Elena nodded. "That's what humans do. We help those who need it." As they began preparing to tow the massive ship, Elena knew she might have just involved Earth in a galactic conflict. But looking at the sleeping refugees, she couldn't find it in herself to regret her decision. Some principles were worth fighting for. The arrival of the alien ship created chaos on Earth. Military jets flew around it as it entered Earth's atmosphere. People looked up at the sky in fear and wonder. "The whole world is watching us," Elena said as she guided both ships down. She had been sending messages to Earth for days, explaining what she had found. Some leaders were angry. Others were curious. All were afraid. The ships landed in a large empty area in Africa. Soldiers surrounded them immediately. Tanks and weapons pointed at the alien vessel. "Not exactly the welcome I hoped for," Elena muttered as she stepped out to meet General Williams. "Commander Reyes, you've broken every first contact rule we have," the general said sternly. The United Nations Security Council is meeting right now to decide what to do. These beings will die without our help, Alina insisted. Their life support systems are almost gone. A week later, Dr. Amara Okafor, Earth's top expert in alien biology, entered the ship. She was the first scientist allowed inside. The military had been too afraid to wake any of the aliens. Amazing, she whispered, touching one of the pods. The alien inside had skin that shifted colors like oil on water. Its body was thin and tall, with 4 long arms. Dr. Okafor worked day and night, studying the ship's systems. She learned how to read the alien language and discovered medical files. They're called the Vashani, she reported to the UN Council. And they're not dangerous. They were made to be servants. She showed images on the big screen. Look at these implants in their bodies. The genetic changes. They were created to be tools. They can see patterns in reality that other beings can't. Their masters used this ability to predict stock markets, weather, even battle outcomes. So why are they running? Asked the Chinese representative. Because they wanted freedom, Dr. Okafor explained. Their genetic limitations were failing. New generations were being born without the controls. They simply refused to be slaves anymore. Suddenly, all communication systems on Earth received the same message. On screens worldwide, a new alien appeared. It had scales and sharp teeth. People of Earth, it said in perfect English, I am Admiral Zorik of the Galactic Concord. You have taken in dangerous fugitives that belong to us. Return the Vashani immediately, and the Concord will welcome humanity into our alliance. We will share technology beyond your imagination. Refuse, and face our displeasure. The message caused panic. World leaders argued for days. Some wanted to give up the Vashani. Others refused to hand over refugees to those who had enslaved them. Meanwhile, Dr. Okafor successfully woke one of the Vashani. Its name was Kelreth, an elder of their people. Is it true? She asked it. Were you dangerous to the Concord? Kelreth's voice was soft and musical. Our only crime was wanting to be free. We never harmed anyone. We simply stopped being their tools. When the UN met again to vote, the Secretary General stood to speak. Today we decide who we are as a species, she said. Do we bow to threats? Do we return refugees to their oppressors, or do we stand for freedom? The vote was close, but in the end, Earth made its choice. Earth will not surrender those who seek refuge, the Secretary General announced to the galaxy. If compassion makes us stand alone, then alone we will stand. Across the planet, humans watched their screens, knowing that nothing would ever be the same again. The first 100 Vashani were awakened from their sleep pods over the next few weeks. They moved carefully in Earth's gravity, their slender bodies glowing softly in the special building made for them. Dr. Amara Okafor watched as Kelreth, the Vashani elder, touched the soil of Earth for the first time. His 4 long arms stretched toward the sky. Your sun feels different from the stars we have known, he said. Warmer somehow. Amara smiled. Maybe it's not just the sun that's warm. The Vashani had marks on their bodies, small metal devices embedded in their blue-green skin. Some had strange patterns in their DNA that weren't natural. Amara's team worked to understand these changes. They were made to be perfect servants, she explained to the UN committee. These implants limit their natural abilities. The Concord was afraid of what they could do if they were free. Meanwhile, Commander Alina Reyes was given a new job. She would lead Earth's first space defense force. Everyone knew the Concord would not be happy with Earth's decision to protect the Vashani. We need ships, weapons, anything that can help us stand against them, she told world leaders. They're coming, and they won't be friendly. The Vashani tried to adjust to life on Earth. Many humans were afraid of them at first, but some were curious and kind. Children especially seemed to like the gentle aliens who could make light dance from their fingertips. One day, Kelreth took Amara to meet a special Vashani child. Her name was Elara, and she was only 10 years old. Unlike the adults, she had been born without the limiting implants. "Show her," Kelreth said gently. Ilara closed her eyes. The air around her seemed to shift and bend. A small ball of light formed above her hands, showing tiny moving pictures, like seen through windows into other places. "What is she doing?" Amara asked in wonder. "She sees the quantum field, the tiny pieces that make up reality," Kelreth explained. "We all have this ability, but the children born free can do more than see it. They can change it." "Is this why the Concord fears you?" Kelreth nodded sadly. "They made us to see patterns in reality, to predict weather, markets, even the outcomes of battles. But when our children started being born without their controls, they realized we might become more powerful than they ever imagined." Ilara let the light fade and looked at Amara with large, silver eyes. "I can see many possible futures," she said in her child's voice. "In some, your people suffer because of us. I'm sorry." Amara knelt beside the alien child. "Don't be sorry. On Earth, we believe everyone deserves to be free, even if it's difficult." That night, Alina Reyes received an urgent message. Earth's new space sensors had detected ships entering the solar system. "Many ships. They're coming sooner than we expected," she told the emergency council. "The Concord isn't waiting to talk anymore." As she spoke, Ilara woke from sleep, her eyes wide with fear. She could see the patterns shifting. The future was narrowing down to fewer possibilities, and most of them were dark. War was coming to Earth. Admiral Zorek's ship entered Earth orbit 3 months after humans had given the Vashani sanctuary. It was massive and shaped like a blade, dark against the blue of Earth. 5 smaller ships followed it, all heavily armed. "Only 6 ships," General Williams said, watching the screens at Command Center. "I expected their entire fleet." "This isn't an attack," Commander Alina Reyes replied. "Not yet. They're here to scare us." When Admiral Zorek's face appeared on screens around the world, many people gasped. He looked like a standing lizard with scales that shimmered like metal. His yellow eyes had no kindness in them. "People of Earth," he said coldly, "you have chosen to protect dangerous fugitives against the wishes of the Galactic Concord. This is your final chance to correct this mistake." He revealed his sharp teeth in what might have been a smile. "Return all Vashani to Concord custody within 30 Earth days, or we will take action. If you comply, we will still consider Earth for future membership in our alliance. We are being very generous." The transmission ended. World leaders immediately gathered to discuss what to do. Meanwhile, the Vashani had begun to settle in several locations around Earth. Some humans still feared them, but many had started to work with the aliens. The Vashani were helping humans improve their technology as thanks for protection. In a research center in New Zealand, Dr. Amara Okafor was working with young Ilara. The Vashani child was showing her things no human had ever seen before. "This is how your computers work," Ilara said, creating a light image showing energy moving through circuits, but they could work better this way. The image changed, showing a different pattern. Engineers watching nearby looked amazed. "She just solved a problem we've been working on for years," one whispered. Amara smiled. "The Vashani aren't dangerous. They're gifts to us." But not everyone felt that way. That night, someone broke into one of the Vashani settlements in Canada. They planted a bomb near the main building. It would have killed dozens, but a Vashani child sensed the danger and warned everyone in time. Security teams caught the attackers. To everyone's surprise, they weren't human. They were aliens with scale-like skin, similar to Admiral Zorek. "Concord agents," Alina said, looking at the prisoners. "They're already here among us." In a private meeting, Kelreth and the other Vashani elders made a difficult decision. They asked to speak to Earth's leaders. "We are grateful for your protection," Kelreth said, "but we don't want to bring destruction to your world. Perhaps we should surrender ourselves to save Earth." The Secretary General shook her head firmly. "Earth does not abandon those who seek refuge. We made our choice, and we stand by it." Outside the meeting room, Ilara sat with other Vashani children. They could see the quantum patterns shifting around Earth. Darkness was coming. Can we help them fight? A young boy asked. Ilara nodded slowly. We must. The humans are the first beings to treat us as people, not tools. We can't let them face the Concorde alone. In orbit, Admiral Zoric's ships moved into position. They weren't waiting for the 30-day deadline. The first attack would come much sooner. Earth prepared for war. Military bases buzzed with activity as soldiers and pilots trained with new weapons. Some technologies were gifts from the Vashani, helping to improve Earth's defenses. But everyone knew it wouldn't be enough against the Concorde's advanced ships. Commander Elena Rice worked without rest, organizing Earth's space defense forces. She had 12 space stations and 30 fighter ships. The Concorde had thousands. We need more time, she told General Williams. We're not ready. Diplomats are still trying to talk to them, he replied. But don't count on it working. 3 days before Admiral Zoric's deadline, the attack came without warning. Concorde ships fired energy beams at Earth's space stations, cutting through their defenses like paper. They're targeting our orbital weapons first, Elena shouted as she rushed to her command ship. Get all crews to battle stations. Earth's ships fought bravely, but Concorde technology was too advanced. Within an hour, half of Earth's space defenses were destroyed. Elena's quick orders saved many lives, but victory seemed impossible. On the ground, people watched the sky in fear. News channels showed the battle in space. Parents held their children close, wondering if this was the end of human freedom. In the Vashani settlement in New Zealand, Ilara gathered with 20 other children. They had been watching the quantum patterns, seeing possibilities narrow with each passing minute. We must help them, she said firmly. The humans risked everything for us. Now we will do the same for them. Dr. Amara Okafor found them holding hands in a circle. What are you doing? You should be in the shelter. We're going to help Commander Reyes, Ilara explained. We can see the patterns of the Concorde attacks before they happen. It's too dangerous, Amara protested. But the determination in the children's eyes changed her mind. How can I help? We need to talk to the commander. Now, in space, Elena's ship dodged another attack. 3 more of her fighters exploded. Her communications officer suddenly called out, Commander, urgent message from Earth. Elena was shocked to see Ilara's face on her screen. This isn't a good time, child. We can help you, Ilara said. The Concorde ships follow attack patterns. We can see them before they happen. Elena hesitated only a moment. Show me. The Vashani children began sending predictions. The main ship will fire at these coordinates in 40 seconds, Ilara said, sending numbers. The smaller ships will move to surround your left flank in 2 minutes. Elena gave new orders based on the predictions. Her ships moved before the Concorde could attack, surprising them. For the first time, Earth's forces began to survive. Admiral Zoric watched with growing anger as his easy victory turned into a difficult battle. Impossible, he growled. How are they anticipating our moves? After 6 hours of fighting, the Concorde fleet suddenly pulled back. Earth had not won, but they had not lost either. It was the first time any world had stood against the Concorde's military might. As the alien ships retreated to a higher orbit, celebrations broke out across Earth. But Elena and the other leaders knew the truth. This had only been the first strike, a test of Earth's strength. The real invasion was still coming. 1 week after the battle, strange messages began arriving on Earth. They came through hidden channels, coded in ways that took time to understand. They weren't from the Concorde. Who are they from? The Secretary General asked as experts worked to decode the messages. Kelreth, who was helping translate, looked surprised. They appear to be from other species, ones who live on the edges of Concorde space. The messages revealed something unexpected. Earth wasn't alone in its stand against the Concorde. Other civilizations watched with hope and fear. Some had been under Concord control for centuries. Others had been threatened into submission. None had dared to fight back until now. "They want to meet us," Dr. Amara Okafor explained to the UN Council. In secret, it was a dangerous mission. Earth couldn't risk sending a large ship. Instead, they prepared a small, fast vessel that might escape detection. Dr. Okafor would lead the mission, along with 3 diplomats and 2 Vashani elders. "Be careful," Commander Elena told Amara before they left. This could be a trap. The meeting place was an abandoned space station at the edge of the solar system. As Earth's ship approached, they saw other vessels already there. 7 ships of different designs, each representing a different alien species. Inside the station, Amara met beings she had never imagined. The Morigi were insect-like engineers with 4 eyes and delicate hands. The Thalessi lived partly in water tanks, their blue bodies rippling with lights. The Nhar looked like walking crystals, hard and sharp. "We have watched your stand against the Concord," said the Morigi leader, Tirek. "For generations, our inventions have been taken without payment. The Concord stripped our world of resources," added the Nhar representative, whose voice sounded like chiming bells. "We were left with almost nothing." Each species had suffered under Concord rule. None had been brave enough to fight alone. But Earth's resistance had given them hope. "We can help each other," Amara suggested. "Share knowledge, resources, technology." "The Concord must not know we met," warned the Thalessi leader. "They would destroy our worlds immediately." They created a secret alliance that day, what humans would later call the Coalition of the Unwanted. Each species would help in ways the Concord wouldn't notice. The Morigi offered engine designs. The Thalessi shared shield technology. The Nhar provided special crystals for energy weapons. When Amara returned to Earth, hope came with her. "We're not alone anymore," she told the world leaders. "There are others who want freedom too." Meanwhile, in a special school in Australia, Ilara and the Vashani children made an important discovery. When they worked together, linking their minds, they could do more than see quantum patterns. They could change them. "What does this mean?" Elena asked when she heard the news. Kelreth's eyes glowed brightly with excitement. "It means we might have a real chance against the Concord." In space, Admiral Zorik received new orders from Concord Command. Earth's resistance must be crushed completely. Prepare the main fleet. The next attack would not be a test. It would be an all-out invasion. Earth's scientists worked day and night with their new alien allies. The coalition helped improve Earth's defenses, but reports showed a massive Concord fleet was coming. It would arrive in 2 weeks. "Even with our improvements, we can't stop that many ships," Commander Elena Reyes said during the emergency meeting. On the screen behind her, thousands of red dots showed enemy vessels moving toward Earth. "We need something they won't expect," General Williams said. "Something they've never seen before." That evening, Kelreth asked to speak to Earth's leaders. The tall Vashani elder brought other elders with him. Their glowing skin was dim, showing their worry. "We may have a way to defend Earth," Kelreth said, "but it is dangerous and has never been tried before." He explained that the Vashani could create what he called a quantum shield around Earth. It wouldn't be a physical barrier, but something much stranger. It would change the probability of attacks succeeding. When the Concord fires weapons at Earth, the shield would shift reality so that most shots simply miss, Kelreth explained. "How is that possible?" the Secretary General asked. "By linking our quantum abilities together. But there's a problem. We aren't strong enough alone. We would need to link with human minds to amplify our power." Dr. Amara Okafor stepped forward. "What would happen to the humans who link with you?" "We don't know," Kelreth admitted. "The connection might damage their minds. Some might not survive." The room went quiet. It sounded impossible, maybe suicidal. But Earth was running out of options. "I'll do it," Elena said suddenly. Everyone turned to look at her. "If there's a chance it works, I'll volunteer." "As will I." Amara added. Within days, thousands of humans around the world volunteered. They built special chambers where Vashani and humans could link safely. Training began immediately, though no one knew if it would work when the real attack came. Elena was paired with a Vashani named Halon. The first time they linked minds, she felt like she was falling through stars. She saw patterns in everything, patterns she'd never noticed before. Focus, Talon's voice guided her. See the shield forming. After a week of practice, the volunteers could maintain small shields for a few minutes, but it was exhausting, and some suffered nosebleeds or passed out. A few didn't wake up. Then the Concorde fleet arrived, earlier than expected. Hundreds of ships filled Earth's sky. They're preparing to fire, called the radar operator at Command Center. Around the world, 3,000 human Vashani pairs entered deep meditation. Ilara and the Vashani children sat in a circle at the center of the main facility, guiding the others. Now, Ilara called out. Elena felt energy flow through her body as she linked with Talon. In her mind, she saw a shimmering web forming around Earth, made of light and possibility. The Concorde fired. Thousands of energy beams shot toward Earth. Most simply, missed. They curved away at the last second or faded before impact. The few that got through caused damage, but nothing like the total destruction Admiral Zorik had planned. Impossible. The Admiral roared, watching his perfect attack fail. The shield held, but the human partners were suffering. Blood ran from Elena's nose as she struggled to maintain the connection. Around the world, some pairs collapsed from the strain. We can't hold it forever, Kelreth warned. But we've given Earth its first real defense. In orbit, Zorik changed tactics. Target the shield itself, he ordered. Find its weak points. The real test was just beginning. The quantum shield held for 7 days. 7 days of constant attacks. 7 days of human and Vashani minds linked in painful unity. In medical centers around the world, doctors treated the human partners. Many had headaches that wouldn't stop. Some couldn't remember their own names. A few didn't wake up at all. We're losing too many, Dr. Amara Okafor said. Her own face was pale and thin. She had barely slept since the shield began. The human mind wasn't made for this kind of connection. Commander Elena Reyes nodded weakly. Blood vessels had burst in her eyes, turning them red. But we can't stop. The moment the shield falls, the Concorde will destroy everything. The Concorde fleet had learned to target the weak points in the shield. Every hour, more of their weapons got through. Cities around the world suffered damage. The death toll was rising. In the main Vashani center, Ilara gathered the children. Though young, they too were tired from helping maintain the shield. There is another way, she told them. But it's dangerous and has never been done before. The children listened as she explained her plan. Then they went to speak with Kelreth and the Vashani elders. It's too risky, Kelreth said after hearing Ilara's idea. We don't know what will happen. We know what will happen if we do nothing, Ilara replied. Earth will fall. The humans who protected us will die. After hours of debate, the elders finally agreed. They had no other choice. Ilara explained the plan to Elena and Amara. The limitations in adult Vashani, the controls put in our minds by the Concorde, they're not just restraints. They're blocks preventing us from evolving naturally. What do you mean? Amara asked. The children like me, born without these limits, have begun to understand our true abilities. We think we can remove these blocks from the adults. Will that help the shield? Elena asked. Ilara nodded. If it works, the adult Vashani won't need human partners to maintain the shield. The strain on your people will end. And if it doesn't work? Amara asked. Then we might lose everything, Ilara admitted. They prepared quickly. The Vashani Center was the most heavily shielded place on Earth. There, 50 adult Vashani volunteers gathered with Ilara and the children. Elena and Amara watched as the children formed a circle around the adults. Strange lights began to glow between them. The adults cried out in pain. "What's happening to them?" Elena asked in alarm. "They're being unbound," Ilara said, her voice strained. "The blocks are breaking." The process took hours. Outside, the quantum shield weakened as Vashani were pulled from their human partners to join the unbinding. In orbit, Admiral Zorik noticed the change. "The shield is failing. Prepare our final weapon. The quantum destabilizer will end this resistance once and for all." Inside the center, the adult Vashani began to change. Their bodies glowed brighter. Some became partly transparent, as if they existed in multiple places at once. When it was over, Kelreth stood before Elena and Amara, his form shifting between solid and transparent. "We are becoming what we were always meant to be," he said, his voice somehow coming from everywhere at once. "Now we can protect Earth without harming our human friends." As the newly unbound Vashani took control of the shield, humans felt the painful connection fade. They could rest at last. But in space, Admiral Zorik's final weapon was almost ready. Admiral Zorik's largest ship moved to the front of the Concorde fleet. It carried a weapon never before used in battle, the quantum destabilizer. It was designed specifically to destroy the Vashani's connection to quantum reality. On Earth, the newly unbound Vashani maintained the shield without human help. Their bodies shimmered between solid and transparent as they existed partly in normal space and partly in quantum space. Commander Elena Reyes, now recovered from her time linked to the shield, called an emergency meeting. "Our sensors show the Concorde is preparing a new weapon," she told Earth's leaders. "We don't know what it does, but Kelreth believes it targets the Vashani directly." "Can our shield stop it?" the Secretary General asked. "No," Kelreth said, his form flickering. "This weapon affects quantum space itself. Once activated, our shield will collapse instantly." The room fell silent. After all their sacrifices, they were still going to lose. Elena stood up. "Then we stop it before they can use it." Her plan was desperate. A direct attack on Zorik's command ship. A small team of Earth's fastest ships would try to destroy the weapon before it could fire. It was almost certainly a suicide mission. "I'll lead it myself," Elena said. Dr. Amara Okafor made an important discovery that same day. She had been studying the unbound Vashani and realized something shocking. "They're not just beings who can see quantum reality," she told Elena before the mission. "They are quantum beings. The Concorde didn't create their abilities. They found an ancient species and forced them into physical bodies through genetic manipulation." "What does that mean for us now?" Elena asked. "I don't know," Amara admitted. "But the children like Ilara seem to be evolving into what the Vashani were always meant to be." Elena's attack force launched 20 small, fast ships against the massive Concorde fleet. They used everything the Coalition had taught them, dodging energy beams and missiles. "Target the main weapon," Elena ordered as they approached Zorik's ship. "All weapons fire." Earth's ships blasted the quantum destabilizer, causing damage but not destroying it. Several human ships exploded under Concorde fire. "It's activating," someone shouted. Elena watched in horror as the weapon began to glow. "Keep firing. We can still." The quantum destabilizer fired. A wave of strange energy spread outward, passing through all matter. On Earth, the Vashani screamed in pain. The shield collapsed instantly. Earth lay exposed to the Concorde fleet. "Now we finish this," Admiral Zorik said, ordering all ships to fire on the defenseless planet. But something strange happened. The Concorde ships' weapons didn't fire. Their engines sputtered. Communication systems failed. Across the fleet, everything electronic began to malfunction. "What is happening?" Zorik roared as his ship's lights flickered. On Earth, Ilara stood with the Vashani children in a circle. Their bodies were almost completely transparent now, visible only as shimmering outlines of light. "The destabilizer didn't destroy us. Ilara's voice echoed strangely. It freed us completely from physical limitations. The unbound Vashani had become pure quantum beings. They existed in multiple realities at once, and now they could affect electronic systems across the entire Concorde fleet. Alina watched in amazement as the mighty Concorde ships drifted helplessly in space, their weapons useless, their engines dead. Impossible, Admiral Zorik whispered as his screens went dark. 3 months after the battle, Earth had changed forever. The day when the Concorde fleet became powerless was now called the Quantum Stand. It marked the beginning of a new era for humanity. The Concorde had never been defeated before. With their fleet disabled and drifting in space, they were forced to talk peace for the first time in their long history. Commander Alina Reyes stood in the Great Hall of the United Nations as Admiral Zorik and 3 other Concorde leaders entered. The alien admiral looked much less impressive now. His once bright scales seemed dull, and he avoided looking at the shimmering forms of the Vashani present in the room. "The Concorde offers terms," Zorik said stiffly. "We will recognize Earth's independence and the freedom of the Vashani, and the other species you've controlled." Alina asked. Zorik's eyes narrowed. "That is not your concern." The Secretary General stepped forward. "It is now. Earth represents the coalition of the unwanted. Any peace must include freedom for all members." After weeks of difficult talks, the Concorde finally agreed. They couldn't fight a war against beings who could disable their technology with a thought. The Vashani, now existing as quantum entities, could not be contained by any physical means. Some Vashani chose to explore the universe in their new form. They could travel faster than light, moving through quantum space in ways no ship could. But many stayed on Earth, grateful to the humans who had protected them when no one else would. Dr. Amara Okafor founded the Harmony Institute, dedicated to peaceful relations between different species. "We must learn from each other," she said at the opening ceremony. "The universe is too wonderful to spend it fighting." Alina was given command of Earth's new spaceship program. With help from coalition allies, humans began to explore beyond their solar system for the first time. The coalition of the unwanted became a true alliance of free worlds. Other species who had suffered under Concorde rule slowly joined, creating a balance of power in the galaxy. 1 year after the Quantum Stand, Ilara met with Alina and Amara in a garden outside the Harmony Institute. The young Vashani's form shimmered like sunlight on water, sometimes solid, sometimes not. "Many of my people want to know why humans helped us," Ilara said. "No other species ever stood against the Concorde for strangers." Alina looked up at the sky, thinking of all that had happened. "It's what we do. Humans protect those who need protection. We're stubborn that way." Amara smiled. "And now we protect each other." Above them, invisible to normal eyes, a subtle quantum field surrounded Earth. It wasn't a shield anymore, but a beacon. The Vashani maintained it as a signal to oppressed beings across the galaxy. It told a simple story. Here was a place where different species stood together, where the strong defended the weak, where civilizations didn't turn their backs. On a distant world, a young alien looked up at the night sky and saw the quantum signal for the first time. Their people had been Concorde servants for generations, but now there was a choice. With hope in their heart, they began to plan their journey to Earth. ****. The end ****.